Oh, 2020. What a weird year this has been, man.
So far
we're 6 months in, and so far we've had massive riots and looting and fire and arson in America. Donald Trump getting, not banned from Twitter, but getting his posts taken down and trying to take social media companies to court. We've had a virus that has literally shut down countries. It's just been interesting, to say the least. But I wanted to make a video mainly to test out the 90D that I got. When did I get this 90D, Aaron? Was it about a month and a half ago? Just before? No, it was longer than that. Pandemic's been going on for about 2 months.
So early March.
Yeah, so I got this camera early March. I haven't actually done like a proper review kind of thing yet, because I've just been really hooked up and busy with other stuff. I want to be the best version of myself. I will do a proper sit down video and explain sort of everything over the past few months, and how different things have affected me and stuff like that. But I don't really want to make this video about me. So what we'll do is I'm going to get some B-roll on this camera and just see the quality of it between this camera and the 90D and the 200D, which was my previous camera. This camera cost quite a bit more than the 200D, so I'm expecting way better results. But I guess we'll just find out. I have obviously tested this camera a little bit, but not on YouTube. So I'm sort of interested to upload a video to YouTube with the 90D and see it with YouTube's compression on top of it as well. But yeah, let's get some B-roll done and then we'll come back in a sec. Alright, so I'm going to chime up for a second here. We're going to pause the cinematics for a little bit. I want to give some specs on the 90D just so if anyone's watching this as like a sort of review type video, you have like a rough idea of what the specs are. So, the camera's resolution, it does 1080p at 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second and 120 frames per second. Don't ask me why I went backwards, I don't know. It does 4K at 30 frames per second uncrop. It has, I believe, a 16 or 18 megapixel. It's a little beast. It's like it's not a beginner's camera and it's not an advanced camera. It's one of them ones that's sort of in the middle. It's like mid-tier. So it's not amazing, but it's not a beginner's. Yeah, it was amazing for the price. I think this camera's 1,250, I believe, body only. So lens in there as well if you want a prime lens, which I'd highly recommend. If you can get a prime lens. You're going to be adding about £1,000 to that budget as well. I've got people shouting in the back of the video. But yeah, so it's a really good camera. I'm glad about the purchase. I definitely haven't missed people shouting.
You got fans?
No, I don't. They're shush. But yeah, all in all, I definitely recommend the camera. For the price it is. As I say, if you can get yourself a prime lens, then please do. I'm currently shooting on an STM EFS 10 to 18mm, so it's not as fantastic quality as maybe you'd see with a prime lens, but also you wouldn't get the wide angleness on a prime lens either unless you spent an absolute fortune on a lens. Some of the cinematics you see, and I want you guys to see if you can timestamp them down in the comments below. tell me if you notice the difference between when I use the prime 50mm to when I'm using the 10 to 18 for cinematics. And yes, there is, that's not a trick question, there is some 10 to 18 and some 50mm in there, so I want you to see if you can timestamp that down below. But all in all, it's a beast of a camera. I love it, it's brilliant. I'll put all my specs, the whole rig down in the description below, just so you guys can see what I'm working with. It is an absolute monster of a rig. It probably weighs in at about, I'm gonna say probably about 6 kilo, and when you're holding 4 or 6 kilo, when you're holding that much in, it's a
heavy boy.
It's a heavy boy. But yeah, let's get back to the cinematics. Okay, so I'm a little bit overexposed, but that concludes the little bit of cinematics with the 90D. I do hope they look sick. I'm not going to know until I get home and look through them, but you obviously already have seen them. It's not been a massively in-depth video purely just because I haven't been on YouTube for ages. I've kind of lost my confidence in terms of recording, and I'm all round trying to be a better person when it comes to recording, so I'm trying to more naturally be myself. Rather than screaming at the camera and just being an obnoxious waste man, which is what I used to do until when I used to record, and it was just like I look back and I think to myself, like, what the hell was I doing? But yeah, I think I just want, I'm doing these videos for me now, like, so I can look back on them and have something to sort of documented, if that makes sense, and that's how I think it should be with YouTube. This is a documentary at the end of the day. It's a documentary for me to look back on in years to come, for me to be able to show my kids or whatnot. Obviously if people watch them, then that's great, but at the same time I need to do this for myself, rather than just trying to make content just so it gets views, which is what I used to do. And yeah, it wasn't me. I'll be doing a more in-depth tutorial about everything that's obviously changed my mind about this and whatnot a little bit later, maybe later today or tomorrow, so that should be up. But I don't know how much I'll be doing these videos, but when I do them, I'm going to try and somewhat educate people with them, whether that be in terms of self-development or some kind of skill. My hair's on a madness, please ignore it. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like and let me know down in the comments what you thought of the cinematics. And yeah, thanks for watching.